And this is what really counts. This is the rock. He's the one we trust in that takes us over to the other side. He's everything. Next. And this is really where it all comes to bear right here, is what do we think is our source of good in this life? You know, many people will say they believe in the gospel, but when it comes to the way they live their daily life, they don't really believe that in their heart because they think the source of all good things for them is from the world around them. They don't really trust in the Lord, they're trusting in the world. And they just kind of have a little insurance policy on the side. But what is our source of good? It says there in James, we've been doing a Bible study on that in our ministry in the afternoon on Sunday. Every good gift and every perfect gift is from above, from the Father of lights. If we really believe that in our heart, we're going to want to be with him, and we're going to want to serve him. We're going to love him. We're going to follow him. Next. This was a major break in our life, and so we put this picture of a break because we were living kind of ordinary, I say ordinary, we were fairly committed Christians, but I mean, we were living our dream life. We had a horse farm that we had grown into. We didn't have anything when we started out, when we got married, but then we had this horse farm. We thought we'd live there the rest of our life. And so we were living the American dream, and we broke that, and we went over to the other side. The Lord supplied 4.5 acres in Jamaica. We constructed our mission house in 2010, and we've been living there ever since. And it's been an amazing life of living by faith. Next. Today, by God's grace, there's several buildings there. This is just the back part of the property. It's much bigger than this. The mission house, there's a short-term room on the side. Upstairs, downstairs is our offices, and there's a storage maintenance area. There's also a craft room in the back. And if you can we're going to just think this going forward, right in the middle of this picture, there's a little open field there, and that's where we want to build our housing unit. But we'll cover that later. Next. This is the view of the back of the property that not many people see because when you're standing there, you can't see this view. It's too sharp going down. It's 1,500 feet down. So you can get to the ocean activities very quickly, but getting back up is pretty rough. And so we thought we'd show you this one. It's quite an exciting place. I've never actually tried to go down there. You'd have to do it with a rope and a... Next.
This shows some of our dependence on volunteers. Don and I are volunteers. I mean, we're retired. We live on our retirement, and we volunteer our time there. But we also depend on other volunteers. We do between around 2,800 Bible lessons in the public schools. Now that means we love teams to come. We go in and we share the gospel, and we follow up with Bible lessons. We get 1,400 lessons a week turned in. That has to be graded. The grade's put in the computer. They have to be signed a new lesson and everything to go out again the next week. So it's 1,400 every week. And so we depend on volunteers, and you can see some of our volunteers here. Beth there with the cake, we were welcoming her because she came like Jane did this year. She came 3 years in a row. She stayed 3 months, left for a couple weeks, came back for 3 months. And tremendous help. Pray for Beth, though. She is ill now, and we don't know if she'll be able to come back this year. And then we have some Jamaicans that come in and help us sometimes grade lessons. Gary down there at the bottom, he drives for us. He does a lot of different things. Right now, he's staying in our home for security purposes. And up at the top, you can see one of the basic schools. They start school at age 3, okay? So you have the basic school, the primary school, and the high school. And right now we have lessons in basic and primary, but when we go in and do devotions, we go into all of them. We have a high school that's 2,000 boys, and a lot of the government leaders send their kids there, and we can actually go in there and give out the gospel. Next. And this is something else. You know, when we do these schools, okay, like we said here, there's 2,500 to 3,000. Right now, it's about 2,800. And we actually have an opportunity. Maybe this is something you're interested in. You might be interested in coming and spending some time with us. a week, 2 weeks, 3 months, whatever, to help us in the ministry. The short-term teams that are 2 weeks, we go into the schools primarily, but we also do vacation Bible school. We've had nursing teams. We've had a lot of different things. And also, if you're not able to go, we have a sponsor a school program. And it's for $20 a month. You can sponsor a school for Bible lessons, and that's about what it costs us to deliver them and everything every month, or every week, I mean. Next. This is some of the short-term teams that we've had. And the young guys up there the one started out when he was like 12 years old. Youngest one I've ever taken to Jamaica. We weren't living there. I was leading short-term teams there. And he has just continued on. He's graduated from college now, and he's an engineer. And the other guy's an architect. And they still try to lead teams. They had to cancel last year because of COVID. But they lead teams once a year to Jamaica. And on the bottom, we've got the nursing students that come and they do health fairs all over the rural areas of Jamaica. And so it's a tremendous help. Next. And this was doing a vacation Bible school. The church wasn't even finished yet, Billy's Bay Church. But we went in and did a vacation Bible school one year for them. We do Bible schools in churches, and usually we do morning Bible schools in one location and afternoon Bible school in another location when we have teams there. And we have churches that beg us to bring teams in order to do VBS. Next. We've had things like how to make puppets. Puppets are expensive. People there can't afford them. People have brought in ways of making puppets from everyday things that they can get their hands on. We've done typing, first aid, CPR class after a very bad incident in our neighborhood where this man was driving like 100 miles an hour to get his dad to the hospital. And we decided we needed to do something locally to help people in an emergency. We have had classes on how to teach using object lessons. You know what? We have Sunday schools where a man stands up there and reads from the King James Bible to children. They don't have any access to training or how to teach. And Don has done some classes, evolution versus creation. Hey, if you can teach that, if you know a lot about that, we need you there. They just started teaching evolution just in the last few years. The pastors, the youth leaders, they don't even know what it is. They don't have a clue how to deal with it. They don't know how to answer questions or anything. So we need help with that. And we've done solar classes. We actually get more requests for these kind of things than we can handle. Schools want to come in and see. My husband, Don, designed our solar system. We operate 95% on solar. And they want to come in and do tours and see how this really works. Next. We have two Bible study courses for kids. Actually, there's a third one. With COVID, we've had to get down to smaller groups, of course. And we've had it almost all the way through. And then we have an adult Bible study on Sunday afternoon. And we speak Don especially, he speaks in a lot of churches around the area. Usually at least once a month, we're in one of the small churches that needs assistance, and he speaks.
We've been teaching in the book of James. I mentioned that at the beginning, and so that's what we've been doing the last couple of months. It's been going a little slower than I would have thought, but it's important to get the meaning. And then we speak in various churches as the Lord enables. We also do special things. We work with young adults, young teenagers, both boys and girls. And we have unusual ministries, too, like the two girls in the top of this picture. They weren't able to get any computer to do their school lessons at school, and so we had them come over to the mission and do work to get their lessons done for school. So we do a wide range of things. Next. We have an immediate need right now for volunteer housing because people like Beth and Jane that want to come, we've only been able to have one little baby micro apartment that they can stay in. That's all we've got. And we actually need to be able to have 2 or 3 people come at the same time. And so we have really an urgent need. We've needed this for a long time, but now it's really getting to be a critical problem. We have many areas of service for those people that come there to work on the island. Obviously, the teaching ministries for ministry, but we also have all sorts of infrastructure, grading the Bible lessons, computer systems, construction, maintenance, administration, all kinds of things that you would think are not ministry, but they are ministry. Because what you find is that everyone is needed to make the ministry work. If you don't have the infrastructure, it won't work. You need everybody. Next. So the plan is we would build 2 apartments and then in the middle have an extra bedroom that could be multi-purpose if somebody had needed an extra overflow space. And so we were going to put that right in this open field that we show here in the picture. That's where we want to place it. And so this is our depiction of what that would look like, the layout right now. We have the housing, we have a land, we have the plan, and now we just need to get some funds to come in to get started. Next. Well, the one thing I wanted to mention on that was we also have some funds that have already been committed. We haven't actually got them in hand yet since we got in the States. We have $20,000 that came in from one donation. We need about $80,000 total, but we had $20,000 that came in from one place. Then we got $10,000 in matching funds. And we have another $10,000 in matching funds if we have additional donations. We need about $50,000 to be able to erect the entire perimeter shell with the roof and to have it all enclosed with windows and doors. And so we'd like to get that much done first, and then we could have short-term teams come and finish the interior space. The next big step that we have is this picture. We have Farron Staple, and he's been working with us from the very beginning. He's on our board of directors, and he's been doing many small things there at the ministry. But now the plan is, and he's agreed to this, that he wants to come on board and work full-time with our ministry. But in order to do that, of course, he's going to need some support. Because unlike us, we're retired and we're self-supporting. He needs to have support because he has a family. And he's got 2 children that are college age starting to go to school. He's a contractor, and he already does a lot of things in his local church. He's one of the lead brothers there. He teaches the Sunday school and the worship service all the time. He helps us teach in our ministry some, and now he just needs to get some more support to go full time. Next. And so Farron needs to make us a break from his past, somewhat like we did when we moved to Jamaica. And so he's got to move from the role of being a contractor to being full-time with Follow the Source. And so he'll go from building buildings to building people in Christ. Next. And how does a person do that? Well, very briefly, you need faith, and then you need to be in God's will. And then that, if you're in God's will and you have faith, the Lord will provide his resources. And he will do that by whatever means. He can use his people, and he can use things outside as well. Next. So what is our current ministry situation there in Jamaica? As far as our support level, I would say God has been very faithful to us. He's given us what we have needed. He's enabled all these buildings to be built. We don't owe any money on any of them. He provided the 4.5 acres. He's been providing support, monthly support, and he's provided all the teachers and all the trainings and all the things that we have needed. The thing is that we need to get more leadership moving into the ministry, because I know it's hard to believe. Elaine and I are getting a little older, and we're looking to the future. And so we need to start shifting the leadership over to other people. But most of those people you shift it over to, they aren't self-supporting. And so that's going to mean we're going to need more monthly support to make that transition. So we would say right now, in view of our need to take on more people, we're at about 70% support, which is about $950 a month. Next. So overall, this is our prayer request for our ministry. We need to restart the short-term teams, which got completely shut down due to COVID, just about all over the world. The same thing happened. We also got to restart the lessons in the schools. They are about 96% shut down. A little bit is going on. Then we want to get midterm and long-term partners that will come to Jamaica, 1 month to 3 years, to help with the ministry. And then they can be working in all kinds of ministry and infrastructure, and then, of course, the construction of the duplex apartments. So those are our primary prayer requests. We have many other local things that you wouldn't be aware of, but these are kind of the high-level issues. So with that, we want to close out our little presentation. It's been really exciting to be here. The thing I would encourage everyone with is, first of all, you need to be connected to the ROC. That is the most important thing by far. You got to be resting in Him by faith. The next thing is you got to be following the ROC. You got to be serving Him, living for Him, doing what He wants. I don't know exactly what that is, but the principles are in His Word. And He will tell you what He wants you to do if you're listening to Him. And some of you might be led to help work with us, or whoever is leading it, there in Jamaica. And that would be great too. But the most important thing is that we're all one in Christ. As they were singing that song today, I really liked that song this morning. It says, no matter what color you are, what ethnic group, what country you're in, whether you're rich or poor, I'm impressed with that more and more. We're all one in the ROC. We're all one in Christ. And that's what makes it all click. And we're going to be with Him forever. So I really encourage you to continue in that work, whatever it may be, because that's our mission, is to be one in Him. Thank you very much for having us. It's been a privilege to be here. I think we have a sign up here in the back that Jane is going to be doing.
Yes. If you're interested, if you think you're interested in just getting our prayer letter, that's fine. If you're interested in short term, want to learn more about it, we try to keep that very affordable because we want our churches to be able to send young people or older people. If you're retired and you want to come and work with us for a while, if you're not retired and you want to come and work with us for a while, Jane has a couple of folders over here where you can sign up and indicate what you want. Please, one thing, if you want to hear from us, make sure we can read your email address. And put your phone number down, because if I can't read it, I will call you to get the correct one. More than half of the email addresses, the last couple of churches we've been in, I had to call them because I couldn't read it. So please try to make it legible, all right? But we hope that we'll hear from some of you. We hope some of you will take an interest in receiving our prayer letters, and that you'll take an interest and that you'll really want to find out more about Follow the Source. Thank you very much.
And as they said, Jane will be right over here by the speakers after the service. So if you want to get their prayer updates and things, you can stop by there. And today is our last day with them for our Dollars for a Difference. So anything you drop in those jars today as you head out will go to support their ministries. And we look forward to hopefully planning a short-term trip with a team from here in the future. Our goal is to looking at maybe sometime this winter or even in next summer, looking at doing that. So we're really excited about that. But I thought it was a neat thing to be able to have them come and share and show you what they're doing. One of the craziest things when I heard this, they get to go into the schools, share the gospel, do Bible lessons with kids. They grade them and the kids actually get a grade on it. How awesome is that? To be able to tell our young people about Jesus Christ in the schools. That is a great thing that's happening there. So we really appreciate them coming today. But as we get ready to close, I'm excited about next week. What is next week? Let me remind everybody in case you've forgotten what is next week. Mother's Day. So husbands, children, remember these things, right? I forgot Mother's Day one year with my mom. Only did that once. I promise. But next week we're going to be celebrating our moms here at First Baptist. We're going to be talking about family and God's plan for our family. and how our families need to be reacting and dealing with the culture in the world around us. I'm really, really excited about next week. I've been working on this sermon for a while, and I'm pretty pumped for it. But we're happy to have you guys here today. We hope you have a blessed day. Remember, if you're a guest with us today, as you exit out, you can grab a welcome bag on the desk right there. And the surveys. Don't forget those surveys. You can drop those at the same place as tithes and offerings and those things. But we love you guys. We appreciate you. We are breaking down today, so if you have a few minutes to stay and help break down, that will be greatly appreciated. We will see you guys soon. Be blessed.